all the viewers, welcome to the latest and greatest show on earth episode of Cruising with the Coaches. I'm one of your co-hosts, Lee Grigsby. Other co-host, I got to do the right side there. Julie Cruz. Uh, I can't get it together, man. I can't get it
It's
together.
okay. It's okay.
How you doing today? How's
Good. How are
everything?
you?
I'm good. I'm good. I do have something to share. No, it's not the loofah. Don't
I
worry.
was gonna
I do
say,
have
dear
some.
Lord, not the loofah again.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Don't worry. I will be having updates. But the and this is all in jokes, y'all, all in jokes. But the world as I know it is over, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Um, well, my camera, okay, good, it's not picking it up. So as you see, like plenty of coloration or lack of color in the beard, right, in the
Yes.
hair,
Yes.
and everywhere else, to like chest hair, that like it's cool, no big deal. I found one somewhere where I never thought I'd find one. No, no, not quite. It's it's right
I'm like,
here.
oh Lord. Oh, your eyebrow?
Yes, not we're not doing show and tell like that. No. So
Yes. I would have.
that's
Yeah.
that
Why
would be on
not?
my
Your
OnlyFans account.
facial.
That
Yeah.
would be on my OnlyFans account. So
Of- Yeah, but if
it's
you're
but it's
facial.
it's one. It's like right over here. And I was
Okay.
looking in the mirror and I was like, oh, I never anticipated my eyebrow. I mean, maybe 20 years from now, but not now. So I was just like, okay. Because, get, been through the injuries and all that stuff. And everybody's like, yeah, that's how you know you're getting on. And by the way, the knee rehab is going good.
Good.
I'm coming to terms with might be elliptical from here on out and no more
Mhm.
running. But hey, if
Yeah.
that keeps him from surgery, then fine. Right.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, a white hair in my eyebrows. And I was
I'm
like,
glad it's in your eyebrow. I'm sitting here like, whoa, where's where is he going with
like I said, that's a whole different episode. That's that's for subscription only. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, too funny. I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
afraid to ask.
no. My OnlyFans account. Not kidding. I don't have one. I don't have one.
Oh,
No, but got to give everybody something to kind of laugh at. If
sure.
if your day is bad, then just look at my eyebrow and you're good. And you're good. But today's episode, we are talking about best friends.
Okay.
And no, not the best friends from Sweetie and Doja Cat. Not best friends as in man, there's many things that we could be talking about, right?
Right.
But this has to do with a like marriage, right? And
Okay.
marrying your best friend. Yeah.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and jump into it. Um, as you all know, there is an actor, Blair Underwood. So he was in many things, and great actor, and has not typecast at all. So after about 3 decades of marriage, he and his then wife Desiree decided to they decided to get divorced, and that was in June of 2021. I will say that in the article, and this is from ET Online, where I was getting the getting all the details, right? Before their divorce, about a couple months before, was when they had actually decided to split up. Okay,
Okay.
so I think that's worth mentioning. Also worth mentioning is their three children, Paris, Brielle, and Blake. Um, Pretty much grown, right?
Mhm.
Not like we're not talking about 5, 6 year old kids. Um, and they also decided the divorce happened after their daughter's graduation. Okay. So, like, they're not springing it on the kids, celebrating her graduation, and then making their decisions, that kind of
Mhm.
thing.
Okay.
This was their statement. Okay. After a tremendous amount of thought, prayer, and work on ourselves individually and collectively, we've come to the conclusion to end our marriage that began 27 years ago. That's how they began their statement.
Okay.
It's truly been a beautiful journey. Our proudest achievements are our incredible children. Three souls to which God entrusted us. We continue to be awed and humbled by the blessings of parenting. We have always put their best interests first and will continue to do so. Then they continue. We will continue to be best of friends and co parents and have the utmost respect for one another as we embark on this new chapter of our lives separately. Okay.
Okay.
So before we kind of go on with Mr. Underwood's story, anything you'd like to share about what we know about him getting divorced from his wife after 27 years?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah, any
it
thoughts, I
seemed
should
like
say.
it was very amicable. I mean, it
Yeah.
sounds like, hey, we're just growing apart. We're no longer
Hmm.
not into each other. I guess that's the best way you could say that. And just understanding that they've grown apart and that they don't share the same interests, and then they're moving
Hmm.
on.
But right, and how many times do we hear about splits and divorces and they get ugly and it's like
Sure.
you pointing the finger with this irreconcilable differences, all that stuff, right?
Right. Right.
This didn't seem like that at all. So um let's go on to the rest of his story. Okay.
Okay.
So roughly about a year later, um Blair Underwood and his new wife now, Josie Hart, they got married. Well, they got engaged in 2021, and then they got married in June of 2022.
Okay.
And that was following a 43-year friendship.
Hmm.
Okay. So let's just bookmark that for discussion purposes. 43-year friendship.
Hmm.
Um, they said their I do's in front of 100 family and friends in the Dominican Republic, and together they have 9 children,
Okay.
of which all were on hand for the ceremony. Okay,
Okay.
and that's just a lot of kids, by the way. Just
Yes, it is.
this 9 is quite a bit, but all right. So then I think this was Blair's statement talking about how they met when they were 16 and they had remained close friends through their lives. And following their respective divorces, they decided to make their friendship more.
Hmm.
Okay. His statement was, or one of his statements, my mother loved and adored her. We had lived separate lives on separate coasts. We never saw each other a lot, but when we talked, there was always such a strong connection of just understanding each other. It just feels so right.
Okay.
All right. So that's what we got.
Okay.
Um, that's the discussion first because we're gonna add something later after the break. So let's just do the math. They had they had a 43-year friendship,
Hmm.
okay, and the marriage was for 27 years.
Okay.
One of those numbers is bigger than the other, yes,
Of course. Yes.
which means they had been friends and best friend. There were some articles that was his best friend
Hmm.
uh, during the marriage.
The marriage. Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And also, I remember when pre-show when we exchanged notes and stuff. Excuse me. There was like one of the headlines, if you will, was um, he had left his wife of 27 years for his best friend who had been accepted. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
so I turn the table over to you. Is yes, thoughts?
So the speculation on what the situation was, or
No,
what
I
would
don't. I
you
don't
say?
think there's speculation.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
because I from the way that everything played out, I don't feel that there was anything that we can point to that says, "Ooh, during
Sure.
that 27 years, what happened?" I don't see that. I don't see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Um, but just initial thoughts, from what we know.
From marrying his best friend, or from like
Yes, for
what
remaining in
their
bed.
relationship and what it was? Because I mean, obviously can't
Sure.
speculate on what their friendship was,
Right.
but I mean,
When we were
43.
close friends, like they put
Yeah,
that. So
yeah,
that's long-term friendship for sure. Yeah.
yes, yeah. So I mean, I'd have to assume that he could probably tell her things that he couldn't always tell the woman he was seeing, whether it was his actual wife or whoever, because I mean,
Mhm.
their marriage was obviously shorter than their friendship, so he's probably been in and out of different relationships in the time
Throughout
that
the
he was.
friendship.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So, it's probably safe to say that she's seen the good side of him and the bad side of him. Like I mean, you and I have that joke. Like there's things I could probably say about you that you would probably be offended if your wife said. You know what I mean? Because you're like,
Right.
well, you haven't known me long enough, or you can't say that. But it's just kind of like, um, I don't know. I guess you just get to that point where you can say things to
Mhm.
someone, and if they're coastal friends, that means that if you don't have to actually see the person, you could probably say a whole lot more that, you know what I'm like, I
That
mean,
you probably would because, okay, the time is short, so I'm
exactly.
going to be I gotta make sure I get this point out, or I gotta make sure I say this, I gotta make sure I share this. Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Because I mean, like, there's things, like I can tell you that I've said to my male friends that I probably wouldn't say
Mhm.
to a girlfriend because they have a different perspective, and it's just kind
Mhm.
of like, not always, can you help me out with this, but am I looking too much into this, or am I,
Right.
like,
Right.
but then, there's the other side of that where you can help the other person with the relationship, so long as you know there's a relationship, because then there's the other thing, because like they're not always forthcoming when they have relationships with people. So
Well, and that's what I believe from everything that we've read about this. Not, I mean, I didn't make the slides about it, but it
yeah,
seems as if, yeah, that was his marriage, and she knew about his friendship. So
right.
it doesn't seem, because also that's what I wanted to point out. Um, Clearly his friend was also married, because it
Yes,
said after both of their divorces was when they chose to pursue this. So
correct.
it doesn't feel like there was any ill will or any
Yes.
ill intent or any she's on the East Coast and I live on the West Coast, and
Right.
like doesn't seem like there
It's
was
just
any of that.
circumstances, and the
Right.
circumstances just probably weren't right for the two of them to be together.
Right.
Whether it's I don't want to move to wherever she is, or she doesn't want to move wherever I am, and just
Mhm.
understanding that, like, while I might like you a little bit, I'm not going to change my life for you. You know what I
Which
mean?
because that's a big deal. That's a big,
Yeah,
like,
and that's
moving coasts or moving
yeah.
anywhere. Yeah.
Yes, and that's like
Yeah,
mad
yeah,
respect. Like, I'm still going to speak with you. I'm still want to, I value this relationship enough
yeah.
to
Mhm.
maintain it, but at the same time, I'm not going to uproot my life to
Right. For
be
43 years, that's a big deal.
yes. Yes.
Although I'm not sure that he would have shared having a white eyebrow with her, like, or I doubt that, she would have known his loofah secrets. Like, I'm just spitballing here, but I
But
doubt that.
I will say that there are situations where, like, some of my male friends,
Mhm.
I don't know that they have a girlfriend because they've never mentioned her. You know what I mean? And I don't think it's that they're omitting it because they don't want to share. I think it's,
Mhm.
and ladies, I mean no disrespect, but maybe that relationship isn't that important enough to even mention it. You know what I mean?
At that
And
time, yes.
exactly.
No, I'm with you on that because like
Yes.
you, well, not you as in you, but you as in a person, right? If they're dating, and especially depending on like stage of life, right?
Right.
You may not be sure, one, where it's going,
Right.
or you may just want to see where it's going
Exactly.
before you start, sharing with, oh, hey,
Yes.
guess what? And hey, and so I get you. You're not disrespecting
No. No.
like folks. You're saying pump the brakes, and
Yes.
as things progress, if it gets to that point, then they share it, you know?
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
that, taking someone home for the holidays kind of a thing. It's like I'll only if we get to this point.
Ooh, been there. So, all right, I gotta share. I gotta share
Okay.
this.
See?
Was dating, and this is clearly before I was married, but was dating, and it was going well, right? Going great. Didn't label it, none of that, and it had been almost a full year, right? And so, like, I'd go over her house, he'd come over, come up to Cleveland, whatever. And so we get to, yeah, so it's like in December. Of course, I had an injury, I'd broken my foot, right? So I'm in a walking boot, but we're going to her family, her sister's house. The family's getting together and walking in, and this was the first time this happened. Now, side note, I knew that I was going to end the relationship, right? No, 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 no. Not, I mean, not because anything was bad. Only be. Hold on,
And
just
you
stick with
still
me.
went to eat.
No,
Look
no,
at
no, no,
you.
no, no, no,
Okay,
no, no,
hold
no,
up.
no, no. I knew
Okay.
I was going to end it because there was a situation that I could not be there for her for it. So
Okay.
her father was dying of cancer, right?
Okay.
And I knew that I was not in any emotional space at all to even remotely be a friend, let alone a support system, right?
Okay. Okay.
So that was the reason I was like, okay, this is a great relationship, but I need to not be in it because I know it's coming, right? That's why.
Okay.
That's the only reason I was trying to end it or thinking about ending it. That's it.
Okay.
I, I'm
Okay.
not saying it's the best. Not saying it's the best, but
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
that's why. And I'll explain that after I explain this part. So, like
Okay.
I said, we're going to her sister's house, walk in, and she's like, "Hey, y'all, I want y'all to meet my boyfriend." I was like, "Oh, that's the first time she ever said that." That's the first time it had, after almost a year, we had
Okay.
never said that about. No, we'd met each other's families. We had known each other, high school, But I
Okay.
was like, "Oh,
You're like,
she just," and she
I'm
introduced me as her
sorry.
boyfriend. What do I
Ouch.
so of course, not gonna bust nobody out, just shook people's hand. Like, "How you doing, man? Nice to meet you," right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but I promise, like, this was the worst decision I've ever had to make in a relationship because,
Sure.
like I said, as I already had in my head that I knew that this was not gonna go much further, right?
Okay. Okay.
And for no other reason than I was not in the right space, right?
Okay. Okay.
And so it was a couple months after that. I think it was, yeah, right. Because you get December, then you get the New Year, then you got February
You did
coming
the
up,
whole
right? So I'm
cuffing
like,
season. You did the cuffing season.
I was like, I
Oh
got to do this. I was like, I got to do this before February, right?
Lord.
Because after February is like my birthday. Like, it was just no good time, right? None.
Oh my gosh.
And so it was like middle of January, and I was like, look, we got to talk. And I was like, we've got to end this relationship. And she asked me, she was like, well, why? And I said exactly what I didn't say it like that, but I was like, look, we both know what's going on with your dad. And I was
Right.
like, and I was, oh my gosh, I was like, I cannot be what you need when that happens. Right.
Okay.
Said that. This held a conversation. And then she was like, well, you know, I won't talk about him. I won't do, and I was like, "No, I'm not asking you not to
Yeah.
talk about him, right?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of person am I, right?
Right.
To
Right.
even ask someone to do that." So then, she kept trying to come up with reasons, right, to stay together, and I was like, I can't do that." She even said, "I promise, I will not cry after he passes." I was like, "Oh, how can I
Oh,
ask
yeah.
you? How can I even agree to that?" Right? What
Right.
kind of person
Right.
does that make me?
Yes.
So that's why I said that was the hardest thing. Because again, like, we were in a relationship. It was a great relationship, but I was not in the right space, and that was the worst thing. Now, clearly, she's gone on with her life and had married kids. So did I. But yeah, I've had to do that, and I was like, hmm, what kind of what kind of human am I?
I mean, self-awareness, obviously. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
Yeah,
to be
it
there
was
and faking it would be even worse.
or
So,
or to have agreed to all the things that she was saying. Like,
yeah.
like how
To
can
even
you
be able to make those offers is just like, wow, because there's no way. Like,
no, not even
yeah,
close, right?
yeah,
I would feel worse if that had happened. You know what I
yes,
mean?
yes,
Knowing that I'm still either way you cut it, I wasn't in a place to even be emotionally there for that, you know?
right. But was
So,
that the only reason?
yeah, that
Wow.
was.
Okay.
It like
Okay.
100% it was.
Wow.
And it obviously again, we've gone about our separate ways cuz
Yeah.
it's not the woman I married.
Right.
But man, that was the roughest thing, you know? And I know
Yeah.
that's a bit off topic from talking about best friend, but
Well, no, I mean, it goes back to basically being there for someone or not being able to be there for someone. So, I mean, that's still
right.
friendship and relationship. And if you
Mhm.
know wholeheartedly, I just am not capable of doing that for you, then it's best
Didn't
to let
wanna
the
waste her
person go.
time, didn't wanna,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
at all. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That was the
Because
worst.
whatever
Yeah.
it was that she was feeling, it was going to be deeper. You know what I mean? And so, yeah,
100%,
yeah.
100%.
Wow.
And didn't wanna do that. There was no good ending for that
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
all because what I saw playing out was
Mhm.
me not being able to be there for, like, the way she needed,
Right.
but then resentment coming
Oh, of
because
course.
it and I could have been wrong, right? That doesn't mean it was gonna happen that way, but if I know that I already can't do that, then let's just be honest and be real, you
Right.
know?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that was no fun, no bueno.
Wow. No bueno. No. But still, I mean, I understand it. I mean, it's like it's hard. You look at it now and you go, okay, like
Oh,
you lived
back
through it.
back
At the time
then,
you
I
sucked.
felt
You felt like you sucked. You know what I mean? You're just like, yeah, I'm the worst human being
oh,
on the planet. But at the same
totally.
time, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
totally felt like yeah, I was like, "I cannot believe" I I almost couldn't believe I was walking away from it too.
yeah.
That
Wow.
was that was yeah, it's pretty bad,
Yeah,
but I think the right decision in the long run, obviously, you know?
yeah.
So it would also that may relate too, right? Same thing that Blair and his ex-wife went through. If they thought it through and went through all of that, and they came to that conclusion together, right?
Yes, yes.
Doesn't seem like one of them made the decision and one of them was like, "Okay, final sign of paper here." It was a
No,
mutual
it
thing,
was a
you
mutual
know?
agreement. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yeah.
So, okay, well, now that we've had therapy hour with Lee on the couch, I
Well, no, because I mean, I can honestly, I've been
yeah,
there. I've done that. I had that same, case scenario. Was, too much going on in my family at the time, and it was just like I can't do this right now,
yeah,
and
you
it's just
when you
I
don't
just
have the
can't.
capacity, yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
if you
and to
know that
understand that. Yes, yes,
yeah, totally, totally,
yeah,
100%.
yeah.
But we do have good news. We do have good news, folks. So after the break, based on talking about Blair Underwood and his situation, I found another article that gives reasons as to why you should marry your best friend.
Yes.
So let's take a quick break. We'll come, I'll let you guys get over me being the worst human,
You
some
are
years ago.
not.
No,
Stop.
back then, I'm good now. I'm good now.
You weren't either. Not even then.
But we'll take a break. We'll be right back with the reasons that you should marry your best friend. Hey, folks, welcome back from the break. Um, hope you're still watching because no, I won't. I won't be sharing anything out. No, I'm kidding. Well, you have to wait till next episode for more therapy hour with Lee. Okay. But as promised, we have there was another article. I'll go ahead and bring it up now. So this was from Forbes. Uh, Oddly enough, but Mark Travers, excuse me, is a psychologist who writes some columns for Forbes. Okay. And he came up with two reasons why you should marry your best friend. So the first reason, let me go to the sides here. Um, it friendship creates highly satisfying marriages. So a study in 2017 study published in the Journal of Happiness Studies. Okay, hold on. I got to come out on camera for this.
Uh-oh.
There's a journal of happiness studies. Like, I, okay, let's just pause and reflect on that for a minute. But a journal of happiness studies.
A
Okay,
Journal of Happiness Studies.
who knew, right? Who knew?
Yes.
So, going back into the information, there was a study was published there that found that being married can significantly increase life satisfaction and well-being throughout your lives together, especially when your spouse is your best friend. Another reason why, part of that same that first answer, is while the fiery chemistry or physical attraction can fade over time, the friendship offers a more enduring source of connection. Couples who genuinely enjoy each other's company, share similar values, and find joy in simple moments together often experience greater happiness in the long run. So, before we get to the second reason why, any thoughts on the first reason other than the fact that there's a journal of happiness?
Well, I mean, I think it's important that you have to be able to be with each other in the quiet times. I think
Mm.
it's, sometimes you'll see couples who literally say not one word to each other at a restaurant, and you're just kind of going, I hope everything's
How's
okay.
that working?
But there is a comfort in being able to be with
Mm,
someone and being silent, and just kind of going about your business, whether it's you're
absolutely.
sitting on the same couch and you've got both your laptops open and, maybe the TV is going, but you're not actually talking to each other, but like
Mhm.
you're in your creative zone and that you can mutually respect that, and it's just kind of like, I'm going to wrap this up and or like just being able to look from the top, the top over your laptop and saying, "Hey, I'm close to closing this up. Did you want to grab? I can go grab dinner." Blah
Wrap
blah
it up.
blah blah.
Wrap it up.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
just with showing mutual respect for each other's passion. So no, there's definitely
Well, I also think there's, like you said, the respect, but there's a deeper trust, right? If
correct.
you can sit there and do your own thing together
Yes.
and not have to feel like, um, what are they doing? Or
Right.
being distrustful of it, right? Like,
Right.
and I know this is a little off topic, but the fact of how many relationships do you hear when someone is trying to go through someone else's phone, right?
Oh, don't even.
Or
Like,
like,
I don't got time for that.
like if if
I don't
if
care.
if I have that feeling, first of all, that means I shouldn't because I'm gonna find whatever I'm looking for, right?
Right. Right.
Or
Right.
or or not. But if you have that feeling, there's something in your gut telling you something ain't right. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
But like you said too about sitting at a restaurant, um, maybe they're both on their phone. No, I'm kidding. They're both on their phones like this. Like, oh yeah, no, but there's just I think an inherent trust, that comes along with that. So
Right. So, like, it's different
absolutely
if it's the phone and it's being
right,
distracting, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm talking to
right,
you and you keep
right.
looking at your phone, da, 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 then I'm gonna say, "What are you looking at?" Like, I'm like,
It,
"You're not listening,"
then I'm gonna
like,
say,
"You're
well, it's the score of the Cavs game, and wait, and then Carolina's draft. Oh no, just
not listening." Then I'll
you're
be
like,
like,
oh,
"Okay."
hey.
I'm like, "Okay, I need to see that too." But no, I
Oh
mean, there
man.
is a difference, but yeah. Being
absolutely. But
able to
yeah,
be together in silent moments is
and I think
great.
that's what he gets at.
Yeah.
And so then the second reason he says it's a good thing to marry your friend or your best friend, sorry, is that friendships protect your love long term. And so there's research that shows couples who place greater value on friendship within their relationship tend to experience greater commitment, love, and sexual satisfaction. Um, when the initial spark of infatuation fades, or when external stressors, ooh, let me say that part again. When external stressors start to weigh on the relationship, having a solid friendship can help keep you connected. Interestingly, couples who place greater importance on their friendship over other aspects of the relationship, like the sexual or personal needs, are also less likely to break up. So there you have it. Those are scientific reasons
Right.
why it's a good thing if you marry
Yes.
your best friend, you know?
Yes. Yes.
Now, I know we've been sharing this as in heterosexual
Mhm.
marriage, right?
Right.
But I think that applies just overall. I don't think there's like a gender thing to this, you know?
No.
Now, I think people get confused or like when you have a heterosexual marriage and one of them leaves for a best friend of the same sex and then they're in that long-term relationship, I think that confuses people a bit.
Okay.
It's just in my opinion, but
Yeah.
you can't fault who you love, right?
Right. Right.
And so I think it applies over, it transcends barriers and boundaries, my
Yes.
opinion. Um, I would like to point out too that I got to be careful how I say this because this is have a I don't want to say it's super personal, but I know of a relationship of
Mm.
people who were married for 30 plus years.
Okay.
And so I'm liking it back to Blair Underwood and his ex.
Okay.
30 plus years, and one of the spouses claimed that they didn't want to be in the marriage anymore, mainly because they didn't like how their children turned out.
Oh,
I, I promise I'm not making it up. I'm not making it up. That's
I'm
why
trying.
I'm
I'm really trying not to laugh.
no,
What?
no, it's well, because as one of the parents, you have a responsibility for that, right? That's what
Right.
kind of
I
makes
mean, you
that
both have accountability for that. Like, are you kidding
you,
me?
one would think. One would think.
Yeah. I mean,
And
unless you have one of the parents who is overbearing and doesn't allow you to be involved, if that's the case. I mean, that can be
no,
the
no,
case.
no,
But
no,
if
no.
that's
That
not, okay.
it wasn't an involvement or the involvement or lack thereof was always choice, not keeping you uninvolved. Um, and
Wow.
so the one spouse who was unhappy chose to get back in contact with their high school sweetheart.
Sweetheart. Okay.
And then, they so the divorce happened, right?
Okay.
Over after some time, after some disbelief and like, no, yeah, no, yeah, the divorce happened.
Uh-huh.
And then the spouse who was unhappy married their sweetheart
Okay.
and lasted until one of them passed. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah, that's so
Oh, did they
I
have any kids?
six
Oh.
the first marriage, not the second
No,
marriage.
I mean
Yeah,
but did the second one have kids?
no, no,
No, they didn't have any
no.
kids.
And
Okay.
then this was we're talking all adult kids.
Okay.
They had obviously if you blend families, then yes, but they didn't have kids together on the second one.
Okay.
Not sure they could have at that age, but
Okay. Gotcha.
yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Kids, grandkids, great grandkids, sure, all that. Yeah.
Wow.
So I think it's important, like when we pointed out Blair Underwood and his ex, and then his new wife. If you can, that was all done
But
above
were they
board.
ever exes? I thought they were just best friends. I don't think they were ever in
Oh
a
well, I'm
relationship.
I meant him and his ex-wife
Ex-wife.
now.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And then his now wife. I didn't
Gotcha.
mean as in
Okay.
being like in a relationship.
Okay. Gotcha.
But it was still all done above board, right? It
Yes.
doesn't
Yes.
doesn't feel like there was any and even when Blair and his ex-wife made the decision, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, again, irreconcilable differences or I don't like the way the kids turned out. And that's a quote, man. That's a quote, I promise.
Wow. That's terrible. Well, no,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I even know of a couple who dated in high school. She went and
Mhm.
she got married and had kids. He has
Mhm.
no kids. And, but their lives, touched base here and there.
Sure.
Now she's divorced and they are now married, but now he has this life of having children where he never had children, I don't
Sure.
know, he's
Sure.
like obviously got a second chance, and I mean that's cool when it works out, but you don't
And when
always
you
get that story.
but also when you do it above board, right? Like
Yes.
if you're sneaking around, if
Yeah,
you trying to hold on to something while you got something else and like it doesn't work that way because the truth will come to light. You know what I mean?
exactly. Exactly.
Just just ask Sean Combs. Oh, that's an unfair shot.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
no,
That's an
you have to say
unfair
Diddy
shot.
so nobody knows who Sean Combs is.
That's why I said Sean Combs.
Oh Lord, I hadn't heard that name in a long time.
Yeah, that was unfair, wasn't it? But hey, truth comes to light. You know what I mean?
Facts. Facts.
Well, y'all, we hope you've enjoyed this episode of Cruising with the Coaches. Let me put our link up here. You can find us right there on YouTube. Make sure you go ahead and go to the page, look at the content, like, and go ahead and subscribe. Like, we're waiting for y'all, we're waiting for the money to, oh no, I mean, we're just waiting for you to
Stop.
subscribe. I take PayPal, checks, credit, no, all jokes, all jokes. We want you to really just go ahead and enjoy the content because hopefully you're getting something out of what we're bringing to you. And this is everyday stuff that we're talking about. So, um, until next time, Lee and Julie signing off.